Good morning. This is Mark Mwenje, MP Embakasi West. And today I want to talk about the finance bill, which is coming up. Maybe coming up today, tomorrow, but it's definitely coming up. And I have I've already made it on the record that I have some issues with some of the provisions provided within the 2026 finance bill. And I'm just going to highlight a few of these issues that are going to affect you. Now, one of the things that I have a problem with is Section 35 of the finance the finance bill, which puts excise duty on cell phones. And the difference with this provision is that the excise duty before was applying at the point of importation. You could import 50 cell phones and you pay duty at that time, excise duty. Now you pay it at the point of activation. Now, why I'm concerned about this is because this activation is not well defined. It means the commissioner can pinpoint a phone to an individual and even shut it down if they are considered that that person is not favorable. So the fact that this activation is being linked to an individual gives me a great concern. And we live in a democratic country. I feel this will curtail even those people out there who speak freely against us leaders, even those who criticize us. This provision, this activation is going to be a concern. And without proper definition, I have a problem with that, because this could end up with a spyware in your phone that monitors everything that is going on within your phone. So I prefer the older system. Government is not losing any money. When you import the phone, importers bring, whether it's 50 phones, pay duty at that time. But this at the point of activation, this word activation, without proper definition, to me that is a serious concern. Now, then Section 45 of the same finance bill amends the Tax Procedures Act. Now, which is Section 42, and this is the issue of where you have not paid your KRA, and KRA can appoint an agency to collect. What this means, if you have a dispute with KRA and you've not paid your taxes, the way the law is right now, if you've gone to KRA and you've challenged what KRA has assessed against you, they cannot issue an agency notice against you. It means they cannot collect your money on behalf from that other third party. It means if you are owed money by another contractor, if you have money in a bank, they cannot collect as long as you've challenged KRA. Now, the finance bill proposes to remove that. It means you can challenge KRA, but they will still go get your money in the meantime. Then what is the point of challenging anyway? And if you win, how are you ever going to recover your money from KRA? So this can be used as a weapon even against people. This is a very dangerous provision, and it was put there in place to protect people. If I have a case against KRA, why then would you go collect money from my bank or from a contractor who owes me, or if it is maybe even an investment that you have somewhere? How do you then go collect that money and yet have challenged it? So that is the biggest issue that I have with that provision. Then there's this issue of offshore transactions. Now, usually offshore transactions that are linking with Kenya, whether 1% or 2%, usually for capital gains tax, those transactions don't pay. The standard is that when those transactions have 50%, when you have a 50% investment that touches within the Kenyan market, then that is subject to capital gains tax. That is how it has always been. Under the income tax, it has always been lowered to 20%. Now, with this new provision on capital gains tax, it takes it even to 1%. So, this violates the tax treaties that we've signed with Mauritius and all these other countries, which have put it at 50%. So why are we passing a law that is violating a treaty that we've signed with other people? What it will mean to Kenyans is that anybody who's been trading in Kenya, at times there are those people who work in companies in Kenya, they just come and sit here as a board, but most of the investments are out there. It means those people are now subject to a lot of taxation. What we'll do is that they will run away and they will take their money elsewhere. And we are the losers at the end of the day. Now, when it also comes to an issue that I have a concern with, Tononoka Steel Company and steel structure, and we have various construction companies that are around here. In 2024, the finance bill had put withholding tax on scrap metal. We removed it. In fact, in 2025, John Mbadi expressly removed this tax. So 2024 finance bill, which collapsed, had brought it, but they found a way to put it in. 2025, we removed it expressly. This year, we've brought it back. How do you change a tax on the same industry 3 times within 3 years? Now, what does this mean? It means that when it comes to steel, the price will go up. What has also happened is that for such companies, they will have to downscale. Now, somebody was asking me, why would I have a problem with that? Now, Tononoka employs over 1,000 people here, provides opportunities. All those offloaders who are there, they don't offload billets. They offload those scrap metal. Now, they will have to reduce their intake for scrap metal. That means direct job losses in the steel companies, one which is within this ward of ours called Mole. How can I support such a provision? There is also introduction of a 5% excise duty on coal. All these companies, all these cement companies, steel companies, they all use coal. Yeah, already the cost of electricity is high because of the fuel prices. Now you will increase excise duty on coal. Now let me tell you, coal in Kenya is 9.5%. In Uganda is 2.5%. In Tanzania is 1.5%. We are at 9.5%. It's not like we're giving these people an alternative. We don't have enough electricity. That's why we are using this coal. Then you go and add an excise duty on it. You know, there is also a 17.5% levy being introduced on steel raw materials. Now, local billets, those billets that you see that go to some of these industries, local billets go for 650 USD. Imported is 490. Now we've put this levy. What will that mean? It means the billets in Kenya are 47, will be taxed. The total tax is 47%. The wire rods is 47%. The Kenya billets, it will be at 22%. Now, here is the issue. Uganda is 1.5%. Tanzania, 1.5%. Rwanda, 1.9%. Us, we're talking about 22%, and the steel rods at 47%. What is going to happen is that these companies in Kenya, these companies, the ones we have here, Steel Structure, Tononoka, and all those other steel-making companies, will start opening branches in Uganda. Because in Uganda, it is much cheaper. The taxes have gotten to a point where it is now cheaper for them to go to Uganda. And in Kenya, the companies that have already left, we're looking at 25 companies that have already shut down, steel companies like Emco, who left and the others still living. And these companies, what they're doing is they become traders. So what they do is they're taking metal from our neighbors, bringing it to Kenya and trading it rather than manufacturing. So we kill the manufacturing industry here. They go to Uganda. So here it is selling. When you remove manufacturing from Kenya, it means job losses, direct job losses. All those people that we've been helping to get jobs around in some of these companies. And this will affect even the other companies that we have, Superlo, Coca-Cola, who are always doing as other forms of construction. Any construction there, the price will go up and they'll have to reduce what they actually spend in terms of CSR and in terms of even recruiting. So there will be a freeze on recruitment when some of these taxes apply. And that is my issue with this finance bill. There is also an EAC carve-out. You see, EAC carve-out, it protects goods that originate from within East Africa community. Now we've removed that. It means we're imposing duty on some of these goods that come from within EAC. Now, I mean, there's an East Africa community. We have signed bilateral agreements with Uganda, with Tanzania, and Rwanda, Burundi, and some of these other countries. Now, when we remove those goods that are exempt from some of these duties, then we are violating the very treaties that we've signed with these other countries. So, to me, I'd ask John Mbadi, why are you violating treaties that we've signed with our finance bill? Our finance bills must comply with the treaties out there. Also, there's the issue of zero rating and exempting some of these imports. Now, when it comes to the steel industry, when you exempt rather than zero rate, it means exempt, you cannot claim that duty back. When you zero rate, it means you can claim import VAT. So that would, if you add some of these taxes, then give the steel companies and some of the local manufacturing companies at least the allowance to have it as zero rated so they can claim input VAT. Now, if they are unable to claim input VAT, the people you're favoring are companies that are importing. Because a company that is importing is already exempt from VAT, so they have no problem. Then they're able to claim it from the other side where they've come from. But what about our local companies? So for me, these are just some of the very basic issues that are affecting, that should concern Kenyans when it comes to the finance bill. It's affecting our manufacturing industry. It's affecting how we will interact even with KRA. The finance bill is also, to me, when it comes to the issue of cell phones, I don't like this issue of activation at an individual. I prefer duty not to be connected at all. That excess duty not be connected at all to the individual on activation, because I believe those are some of the issues that are going to affect, especially our Gen Zs. They're the ones on cell phones a lot. They're the ones out there, Mitandao and everyone. It will affect them. Now, unless these are some of the issues that are going to be addressed, and I know I've not been able to cover all the others, but these are the ones that affect my constituency. I cannot vote for a finance bill that is going to make a company that is in my constituency, in one of my wards, employ over 1,000 people, to close down and take those jobs to Uganda. There's no way we can support this kind of provisions in the finance bill. And then finally, even the affordable housing project that is being done by the government, some of these taxes that you're putting here are going to directly affect the very cost of building those houses, the cost of building classrooms in Nairobi. These materials that we buy cement, we buy steel, all those things. It means even the money that the government is using, the costs are going to go higher. All those contractors will have to increase their prices by a certain margin. So it means everything is just going to increase gradually, and it will even mean that even in the budget for next year for some of the projects we're going to do for the roads, NGCDF and ministry and all the others, it means the money that we are budgeting now will not be enough if this finance bill passes. Because these new taxes, some of them will come in immediately, some of them will come in January. When they kick in, it means the cost of construction and creation of jobs will reduce, and some of these costs will increase. And because of that, unfortunately, I cannot support this finance bill for 2026. Thank you very much.